Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with the free pick in the Howard versus Yale college basketball matchup on Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. Of course, if you like our free picks we do every day at Pick Dawgz, you'll love our premium picks. Just use the discount code PICK and get an additional 15% off. We also have Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are meant for people who make big bets. If that's you, go ahead and text that number that you see on the screen. These are not available on the website. You got to text that number. But let's get to this one. Howard taking on Yale. Howard 5-9 on the season, but 3-1 straight up at home. 3-0 against the number in line games at home. So the Buffalo certainly, a little bit out of their element in these out-of-conference games that they play at this time of the year. Yale, meanwhile, 8-6 coming in, 3-4 straight up on the road, 4-3 against the number on the road. One thing we know about Yale, generally they schedule pretty big out-of-conference, and then when they head into that Ivy League schedule, well, generally it's a little easier. Of course, they coming off a nice win against Santa Clara. They were a 2.5-point dog in that game. They won by 8. That game was right before New Year's, and then they had lost to Kansas about a week earlier to that. That one was at Naismith and lost by 10 points in a game. They were getting 15.5. So Yale generally, like I said, they're not afraid to play against the big competition. They haven't played as much of it this season as we've seen in the past, but they certainly have played some of it, but not as much success losing games like Weber State, Vermont, in a spot that, they were getting 1.5 points in that game. And so it might not be quite up to snuff for this Yale team. We look at Howard. Generally, these guys take some big games out of conference as well, losing to Cincinnati in a game that they covered, getting 12.5. Played a different Ivy League team, and Penn got blasted in that game, though, 78-68, losing in a game that they were only getting 6. But we know that Howard, generally very athletic team, but, in a lot of these games, like we saw against UCSB, kind of out of their element. And then last time out, bouncing back against LaSalle as a 7.5-point dog. When we look at the stats and, when we look at kind of the numbers and the way they shake out, always a little tough when you're seeing teams from different conferences and, play totally different out-of-conference schedules. But you can generally get an idea, because for me, it's like what I mainly look at in games like this, 3-point shooting and defense. And, if you have a big number, if a team can play defense and shoot threes, generally they have a puncher's chance and can somewhat keep it within the number. If they can't do that, well, generally that's how you get these big-time blitz scores. And Yale, shoots the three decently. We're used to Yale being a better three-point shooting team than this, but shooting at 34.6%, shooting in also an efficient 45.5% from the floor. When it comes to rebounding, I got to say that Howard has the edge in this one, especially on the defensive side. But offensively, Howard really doesn't do all that much. And, we look at the Howard defense overall, they are not very good at guarding the perimeter. The Yale defense, pretty good guarding teams from the floor, teams shooting just 40.8% against them. But from beyond the arc, Howard shoots an amazing 36.9%. Like I said before, defense and shooting threes is going to keep you in these games. It's going to go a long way. When we look at the Yale rebounding on the defensive side, they have a pretty big edge in this one. I think that this one has a chance to remain fairly close throughout, but I think in the end, Yale is just the better team, and I think they pull away. I'm going to take Yale, lay the points, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. They're 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.